Well, hello there, everyone. You have right here will be an example right here of a resume right here, and this right here is a resume that for what speaks out. And I know that whenever I was thinking about this, I was also want to go ahead and put right here, for resume for a prize. A resume for a prize. What exactly does a resume for a prize necessarily mean? And we can maybe put that in reverse, like you say any source of letters such as for this a resume for a prize. Or we can maybe say a prize for a resume, or we can maybe say that you're for or are or that for a prize. So where exactly does prize come along? And I guess you say that from all the hard work that we may think is to where that we're putting into job searching, though, that do we really think of that as to where that that you get an award, like I say, a reward, some source of earnings, any source of points. And how many of us may want to where if you've been on a job searching progress, on a job process for maybe for close to a year or maybe up to 5 years, and you ask that question to where that anything for what we call free stuff, or if it's anything related to about that if you've been on the job searching for quite some time, and you're like kind of like one or two that if there's any prize in the matter about that, but still though that any sorts of promotions especially, so anything that's going to be recorded on a resume, and you may know too, where just like a grade book right here, that even our taxes, that sometimes you one or two just a little bit of that to where that that anything about this resume right here is that knowing about the fact about anything that's going to be recorded on a resume, that you're likely one or two that anything that needs to be updated especially. But still though that for most resumes though, what does it mean when we say a resume for a prize? A resume is supposed to represent it's supposed to represent the person that you're applying for. And some may even think too to where in order to be able to get that work done by that professional, that requires a computer, or it requires special hand tools, or maybe a good focal point, unlike anything about what's called a special, maybe a letterhead scanner, or maybe somebody to use a fax machine, or somebody to use a mobile device. So about all these skills that you want to put into a resume, and a lot of times it seems like that, whenever you get a promotion, that basically means is that, you are granted what you call, maybe increase in salary, and maybe that you go ahead and move on to something even better. That's usually what it means. But still, though, that I know that a lot of times if I'm going to be reading a lot of job descriptions, and they're like say that that anything for what we call to where promotions, though, what exactly are promotions? It's basically another way of saying like moving on to something even better. So I guess they say that if you've been working a job for about 4 or 5 years and want to know if you can move on to something better, but really, though, what exactly does this mean right here for a resume? For a resume for a prize. So I was thinking about that also, to where that something that's owed to you after so long of all the hard work it is, and that's usually what I say about is that whenever we think about that, is to where that really by the time we get a job, is that really considered a prize? Or is that really just considered to where that, are these people, Mike, unless if you're just tired of looking, or maybe after the first time or the second time, and say people start saying that, okay, well, you're hired, and this is what you got to do next. But still, though, that if we're talking about computer skills right here, if we can all see this, everybody, that really, though, a resume really should be written by you, that, besides maybe on a tax reform or a tax return, or maybe a transcript. We all know that you can't change anything on a transcript, but we're not even talking about a transcript. But a resume, though, that a resume is supposed to speak about about the person applying for a job. So sometimes it seems like that, you got maybe somebody that's going to maybe say that to where that, that in order to be able to get the job done, that we're going to go ahead and rely on maybe the software program, or we're going to go ahead and see somebody who has a lot more experience or something like that. But something related to about that, really, have you found any other candidate that has a lot more experience or something? But still, what does that mean for a resume for a prize? And so that was something that I was mentioning also, and so it's like in case if somebody will warrant to word it, a resume for a prize. This prize, if you want to call it, is just to word it. Does that basically mean to where that you get so many people who are looking at it and so many people who like it, who even like the work that you're doing, whichever. And so yeah, if you're going to be listing any source of experience that you might have, and so let's just say that all these right here are computer skills, but let's just say multitasking. So let's just say that if you include multitasking on a job resume, you have right here, for multitasking. Really, would you want to say multitasking on a job resume? Whenever you say multitasking, what exactly does that mean? And I know that sounds a lot like what the teachers would say, and maybe like the hiring managers would maybe say too, that with multitasking, what exactly does that mean whenever you say multitasking on a job resume, and any skills, computer skills that you're good at, and maybe live streaming technology, and as well as managing online customer orders from social media sites, and then for good with the access to the Creative Cloud. But really, though, that this prize that I'm referring to could also mean biases toward that you win something. Yep. Can you really win anything on a resume? Let's just say if you go to an interview or a meeting, and let's just say if you were to win something, and then possibly that they might give you a coupon or a discount, but other than that, a resume for a prize. But I mainly use that word of so far saying right there, a phrase, is to where that for a promotion mainly. So in case if somebody were to say that if you're going to be maybe mentioning on social media about promotions. So promotions that you might get maybe after so much time, like after about maybe 5 years or so, if you do get promoted on a job, and then that's so far saying for promotions. So that the prize will be like for promotions, and let's just say that promotion would be to where that they offer you a free computer, or maybe a coupon discounts, digital coupons or something. But anyway, I have right here for digital is only the beginning right here, and what exactly does that mean? And I mean by is to where that nowadays with our source of digital technology nowadays, it's like that's only the beginning of the process. It's only the start of the process. It's also web development, and also maybe the use of satellite and mobile apps and stuff like that. But anyway, but I just want to mention right here about most resumes though, and so in case if somebody were wanting to, the candidate for who's applying for, and I can go ahead and use right here, the highlighter right here, but still though that I know that go ahead and use the highlighter, but highlight my name right there. So the areas that would be highlighted would be the main focuses right here. And for whatever reason, I see that, my name right there, and then promotions. Promotions, and then maybe experience, computer experiments, and then I can also maybe say, digital is only the beginning, would also be another thing that I would maybe say too about, any businesses who want to hire me for a job. Using checking emails and anything else. Maybe multitasking. I can maybe do that in another color. Go ahead and choose right here blue. If you want to highlight PowerPoint in blue or something. PDF file. So what sorts of color do you think that would get a lot of hiring managers' attention? The use of mobile apps. Right here, use some HTML files. So the things that we see on a resume, online orders, technical support, the Google Play management. So yeah, customer, I guess you say that would be like in customer service. So chances are that, that there's going to be any company that's going to hire somebody and want to know just a little bit too, to where exactly where these of one of these choices and categories would the company hire you for. And digital electronic printing, so the printing business. So yep, all that stuff that you're going to be good at, they're going to be looking at that. But I can go ahead and highlight right here. I can maybe highlight this in like blue right here, like the things that are highlighted would want to catch the hiring manager's attention. So it's like say that, yeah, for a resume for a prize, the main things that the hiring managers are going to want to look at. And one of those is going to be, for certain is to where that, that about how well that you're willing to you interact with your customers and then take the orders, manage the orders, and as well as maybe answering phone calls, that sorts of stuff. But I would say too that really don't rely on a computer to because that it's like a computer, somebody to operate the computer, especially because sometimes though that even though if you're going to be in front of a computer, if it's going to be for a personal computer, or if it's going to be for business, a business computer, or it could be what's called a home ec computer. Like hobby library computer, if you're maybe going to be at the career center using their computers. But still though that you were too that can you really use state to federal taxes and federal financial aid, can you really put that on a resume? But I mainly use right here a resume for a prize, mainly just because of promotions right here. So if you're going to be celebrating maybe like a work anniversary for whenever you first started working a job, and then you say on there that I've been working here for 3 years, for over 3 years, or for 7 years, and really though, if the prize in the matter would be is to where that are really people counting on you to get the job done, is it all about people counting on you to get the job done, or is all about anything else new that you found out in the whole process? So yeah, it may be all those above, but still, what is the main reason for what we want to call for a resume for a prize here? It's basically mean is as to where is it all about the winning or losing and about the whole process? And we all know that if we're going to be working a job, that if it's really about the winning or losing process, or if it's all about trying to get the whole situation straightened up. But still though that we know that looking at a resume right here, that there's different ways of how we want to write a resume, especially the clear language and how the work experience needs to be placed right here. But I tell you one thing though, everybody, that looking at these resumes, and I know that there's like a business cards, and then there's mobile devices, profiles that you can use also. But really though, what does a resume for a prize basically mean? And so in case of somebody were to ask me that, do you think that perhaps that you can really earn a prize, you can win something? Resume for a prize. So I'll go ahead and highlight that right here, just so everybody to think about that. Your resume for a prize right here. Is that really is a resume for a prize whenever you work real hard on something? And then, really, is it really, do you really win that position, or is it all about the fact for how long you've been working on for? Or is it about, by the time you finally get the job, then it's basically, your case closed or something like that, or it could also be about as like something to celebrate with. But I really look at that as more likely to where that if you've been hired for a job recently and you've been there for a while time, for promotions. But other times it's like, that you really just got to keep keep the fingers crossed, as well as looking at the resume. So that talk about the future, especially what approaches your resume that's going to get the managers to hire you. And you could probably say too is to think about the future mainly, but then also about guaranteed to get the job done. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.